1, 2, 3.
Hello, one and all, and welcome to the Ford Fiesta. I am your host, Paul Preston. Adam is your host, Adam Witt. We together are your hosts. We're the movie guys. Welcome.
And together we are the movie guys.
Wild Stout. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You were doing Three Amigos. Gotcha.
It's been Three Amigos.
We're both of those things. We're the Three Wild Stallions. And happy to be here to talk about Harrison Ford and what's new with him. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, hopefully to move forward on one of his movies in our ongoing movie by movie episode look at his whole career. I think we're up to Presumed Innocent, as that's the latest one. Oh, I'll put it up here. That's the latest one we have fully edited. If you're just going to wander across the show, we use this live stream to generate material for finished episodes, which will be tight and edited and sharp and all audio. And the latest one is up for Presumed Innocent. Yes, it was something before Jake Gyllenhaal was in it. And it was a Harrison Ford movie from 1990. So that's up now with our special guest, the great Brendan Meyer. So go listen to that. He provides a lot of cool insight. And we talk about this movie, which got better on a second viewing and got better on Adam's first.
Absolutely. It was very exciting. I listened to that on my plane ride back home for the holidays. So thank you, Paul, for putting the extra effort into finishing the Presumed Innocent episode. I had got to listen to that, and what was the one before it? Because I'm a little behind on even my listening.
Last Crusade,
right?
Our shorts from that episode are still doing well, including this one right here with our guest Mark Knoppick. Morphing technology used in Willow was now applied to a human character as Donovan goes through his stages of
Well, I'm glad something good came out of Willow.
Dig!
Oh, snap!
Dig! Those get hundreds to thousands of hits every time we post one, so it's fun. And then they go away like forever. Then they never get another hit again. Like shorts are just not meant to stumble across. So.
Yeah. Well, what I'm looking forward to with the new year and hopping back into doing some of the posts on our stuff is there's just so many shorts in each of our episodes because of the scripts we write, and so I'm excited to get some heat on that by cranking out a few of those shorts as well, because it's just like I would love to do a short series where it's just the scripts we do. I crack up listening to Presumed Innocent at the jokes we wrote on it now like a year ago or whatever, but they're like a complete surprise to me. I'm like, oh, these guys are funny when I'm talking about myself.
Yeah, but so you can enjoy that now, and every movie before Presumed Innocent is out there in a finished Ford Fiesta episode. As for the streaming, we're still generating material for Air Force One, so we're ahead later in the same decade, and we're working on the script for that. We'll bring it back to you hopefully here in a couple of weeks. Next week we'll be off and then back again. On, I guess that would be MLK Day, unless something comes up to push that because it's a holiday, but hopefully not.
Yeah, indeed.
But today is just whatever, and as the.
But there's Harrison Ford news, Paul. We were graced with Harrison Ford last night on our very TV screens.
Yeah, there's never not Harrison Ford. We mentioned this on nearly every show. We're going to say, let's cover his whole career, because it seems like with Call of the Wild, he's done. Nope. He was nominated for a Golden Globe for Shrinking last night at the Golden Globe Awards. And I'll show you do you have any shots of him showing up at the red carpet?
Yeah, I have a clip of this is from Extra here. This is him on the red carpet, and piece of information I didn't know, and I don't think the guy from Extra knew it either. Now let's go to present here. Share screen. Let's go. Yes. All right, let me see. I think I have to make it full screen here. How's this work?
Yep, looks good.
That looks good. Oh, I can do it on two monitors. Of course, now I can check my work.
This is why I'm bad at this, because I only have the laptop going right now. When I have to step away to look for to have a decent background from the desktop, where I have three monitors. So it always, I don't know what the hell I'm doing when I share a screen. Yet I'm prepared to do it again today.
You know, Paul, I do know what the hell I'm doing, and I'm a little embarrassed. I'm like, every time I do the share screen because I didn't download this clip or wouldn't download it, I'm like, why haven't I just used it to see it, make sure it's full screen? Or anyway, but here's a little red carpet from the Beverly Hilton and a little information I didn't know. Let's see.
Be sure to share audio before you play it.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Are you having as much fun doing it now as always? Because you're doing a lot.
More fun.
Give me some highlights from the last several months of the biz.
Highlights.
It's just an endless stream of happiness.
I love him so
I
much.
really am grateful for what's going on. I mean, I am.
He's
going
high as
on,
hell.
man?
He's high as hell.
I did not expect to
He's half
necessarily.
Lebowski, half Indiana Jones. I just
you were
adore
happy as
it.
a carpenter, and then this thing all started happening, and boom, boom, boom. It's never stopped.
Well, it's been show business has been.
Good to you, and you
Good
good
for
did.
me.
Yeah. And Georgia, your daughter's here tonight?
She is, yeah.
Great. Your date, that's terrific.
Yeah. Callista's working on a play in New York, so she couldn't be here.
Oh, great.
But this is where we met.
You and I, or you and
No.
Callista?
I forgot when I
Probably you
met
and I,
here.
too.
No, I met Callista here many years ago.
Oh, do you remember the moment, the conversation? How did it happen?
I remember it, but I'm not about to share it.
Oh.
But it was.
I remember it, man.
Hey, man.
It's where I met my wife.
You approached her, or did she come to you? One question. Just get who said hello first?
I approached her. We had not met. I introduced myself.
Callista Harrison Ford. Nice to meet you. Oh, I've heard of you. Nice to meet you. Oh, nice.
I don't think she'd heard of me.
Who? Some guy named Harrison.
I didn't know that. That's where they met.
No, I know, right? I thought that was kind of a little fun fact. That's all. That's the only clip I found from the red. Oh no, there's two red carpet. Do you know the clip of Ariana Grande's? Do I have that here?
Yes, I have that. I'll show you that real quick. But
Oh,
I wanted to
you can
share
show
this.
that.
Wanted to share this first. The daughter that he's talking about is here. His daughter Georgia, which I didn't know. We've heard so much about Ben Ford, his son, and then Liam, the son he had with Callista, that I don't know Georgia. So it was cool for me, a coming out party for her to come and be with him on the red carpet.
Yeah, very cool.
I actually recently heard of her because he did some event that raised money for epilepsy, which I believe she has, and it's one of his latest causes is epilepsy foundations and that sort of thing.
What a good guy. Is that his youngest daughter?
It might be his only, and then he's got
His only daughter. That's right.
He's got
Ben?
3 sons, I think: Malcolm, Ben, and Liam.
Oh gosh, you're right. Yeah.
And I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yeah. But anyway, they look sharp, and what a cool night for her, I guess, to be the date if Callista's in New York.
Yeah.
And I'll remind everyone, I saw Callista Flockhart in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf here at the Geffen Theater, so she's still
that's right.
crushing it on stage. So I don't know what she's doing in New York, but it's going to be worth checking out. She's really good.
Yeah.
And a quick note here, which I definitely noticed when I saw Harrison Ford at the table last night, sitting with his vice president, Glenn Close.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
I was like, oh, that's not Callista. Oh, it's Glenn Close. So a little
That's
reuniting of the Air Force One team there, which was cool.
Oh, that's great.
And yes, they do have Ariana Grande being talked to on the red carpet, and then her mom comes up, and then this happened.
It's a very emotional day.
Yeah.
It's also.
And she just met Harrison Ford.
Also, you just met Harrison Ford.
No, I'm dead. That's different though.
That was your goal?
That was my goal.
That was your goal.
Yeah,
to meet
yeah.
Harrison
We've
Ford.
pretty much done everything except Harrison Ford.
There's
And I
all-
don't mean we did it.
Right,
but you
right,
know
right.
what I mean.
Ariana
Grande-
with the absolute look of a girl whose mom has just embarrassed her. And she
Right.
looks away. She's like,
What are you expecting when you invite mom over?
right.
That's exactly what should happen.
So I guess that's some stage mom, right? I mean, that's his. What's is her mom her agent or what's she doing there? Or can you just bring your mom? I guess you can bring your daughter. You can bring your mom.
Yeah, you
right?
can absolutely bring your mom.
Yeah.
In fact, Nikki Glazer was on Howard Stern this morning doing a post-mortem on last night's event. She was great.
Yeah.
Especially doing that stupid musical number combining Conclave and Wicked. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that.
You will be popular. You're gonna be popular. Yes, and then she gets like a message in her ear. Yes. Oh, this is dumb. I should stop. I'm embarrassing myself. Oh, okay.
Amazing.
And then she just stopped the whole thing.
That's hilarious.
It's pretty funny. But she talked about going to a party with her parents. So it's a popular thing to bring your folks to these events.
Well, the Golden Globes is Oscars, except you can get drunk and bring family, I guess.
Yes.
The difference is you're allowed to burn one right outside the exit doors for the Golden Globes. I don't think you can do that at the Oscars.
No, if you heard Kieran Culkin's speech, he had a shot with Mario Lopez of tequila. So when he was giving his speech, he's like, so I'm still a little hurt, but anyway, and he goes on with the thank yous. But yeah, no, it's notoriously, and it's always, as far as I've lived here, so for at least 25 years, been at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. And which was cool yesterday is I was giving a tour and we went right by there. So these are tonight. Like, this is cool. Wow. We're going right by. You can see all the hype happening going down at the Beverly Hilton. I think they enter, I don't forget which side they enter through, but Wilshire and Santa Monica were both buzzing. So that was kind of cool for people from out of town to be like, oh, look, a whole big Hollywood thing is going on.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's got to be a bonus because I always feel bad for people like, because I'm right next to Hollywood Boulevard, and every once in a while people give a double glance at me. I don't know if they think I'm Steve Martin. I don't know what they think, but just in my head, I'm just like, you're not going to see any celebrities on Hollywood Boulevard. You're probably not going to.
Have I told you this story? Oh, go ahead.
No, Sorry. But last night my mom texted me and she's like, hey, the Golden Globes is out. You should go see if you see any celebrities. And I was like, nope, not that's the Oscars. You're thinking I'm close to the Oscars. I'm nowhere near the Golden Globes.
Yeah. So the Oscars moved around forever. They used to be the Pantages, of course, the Shrine, the Dorothy Chandler.
The Roosevelt.
And now they're set up. What's that?
The Roosevelt.
Oh, the Roosevelt.
1923.
Very first one, yes.
Yeah.
But they're set at the Dolby until well, I've been researching all this stuff. It was 29, celebrating the movies of 27 somehow. Anyway,
you're right.
The first one. And two people, or not two people won, but people would win for their body of work for the year. So anyway, but
is that true? Is that like the original Oscars?
Yeah, like Joan Fontaine, I think, won for 3 movies she was in that
Everything she'd done that year.
Yeah. But yeah, the Globes, as far as I know, have always been at the Beverly Hilton. I'm probably wrong because it's been around longer than we think, and so it's probably been somewhere else. But it's been there for so long. I'm not surprised Harrison Ford met Callista there, which was well over 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's that place is hopping every year down there.
Yeah, the other day, I mean, again, I'm blessed to be really close to all this like Hollywood royalty. Just walking to. I was going to the Bengals game Saturday, and I walk past the Vans Chinese Theater, and it's always really cool. And I walk past Mickey Mouse and Chewbacca on my way to the train, which is like, God bless it. Like that's, can you imagine like a kid's dream more of having access to that? But
Chewbacca and Chewbacca's boss.
Right, Mr. Mouse. Yeah. But I walked up on the way back, and I instead of taking my usual route, I kind of walked a little on Hollywood, and I was like, it looks a little sketchy up there. I've got a lot of shortcuts and routes. But I realized if I just exit the train and immediately go up the Dolby Theater, you're basically walking the red carpet route, with all the pillars, with all the best pictures on them. Mm-hmm. And so that's my new shortcut now. It's like, I'm going to walk the red carpet route up the stairs,
Yeah, David thinks he knows what goes on in the street. People go, is that fan favorite Adam Witt? Yeah.
That's what it is. That's got to be what it is. I did have a guy once go, hey, to me. And I was like, hey, because sometimes we have friends and I don't remember. I'm like, oh shoot, that's a person I've met before, but I'm kind of blanking on their name or whatever. And I had that kind of look waiting for him to then make the next move to go, from the Schmodown or whatever, from wherever. And then he didn't. He just walked on by, and I was like, he thought I was somebody, but it must have been the fan favorite Adam Witt, and then famously unapproachable me. He was like, well, I'm not going to bother him.
You just want to say you recognize him and then move on.
Yeah, move on. Yeah, not going to bother him. Like when I ran into who's the comedian? I Have a Pony. Stephen Wright.
Oh yeah. I
ran to him at the New Beverly, and we just had that look of like, my eyes was just like, I recognize you are Stephen Wright, and I'm not going to bother you. And he's like, I recognize that you recognize him, Stephen Wright, and thank you. And walked away. Oh, completely silent.
I remember I was at the Blues Music Fest in downtown Chicago, and I walked around a corner and almost ran into Buddy Guy, and I just kind of went, "Buddy Guy," and he went, "Ha ha," and then he kept going. It's like too quick to do anything cool, but that was he's like, "Yeah," and he moved on. Legend, that guy. Hey, there you go. He thought you were the Fonz. That's why he went, "Hey."
Hey, there he is. So
wait, I got one more story. Wait, I got one more story about that before we get back to that.
Oh yeah,
because I gave a tour to two lovely ladies from Oregon, Phyllis and Diane, in their 70s. They took two tours actually, one day and one the next. Well, they said, "Where can we see celebrities?" So I said, "I don't know. You could try Musso and Frank or the Beverly Hills Hotel. I guess maybe they eat there." Yeah. They don't have a schedule though, so I don't know what to tell you. In terms of like, you know, and I don't do celebrity homes tours because you won't see them there either. They will not be out front waving.
You will see a fence,
and
some bushes. Here are the fence and bushes. Do the fence and bushes tour. Here are the fence and bushes of Gladys Knight. Here are the fence and bushes of
Bradley Cooper. Yeah,
Bradley Cooper.
And I think they all live in Bel Air and Malibu, like so as not to be on the Beverly Hills tours, mostly. But so I gave a tour to those guys, and the next day they said, "Hey, we went out to the Beverly Hills Hotel last night, and we saw Bono." And I was like, "What? That's you guys. That's just your magic. I think you can't guarantee anything." And then you went out to see celebrities, and you saw Bono. Okay, and then they took the second tour and texted me later to say, "Hey, we went to the Musso and Frank Grill, and we saw Brian Henson." For those who don't know, Jim Henson's son, who now runs the Muppets, and you got to know who he is. And they were like,
really do.
They had magic on him. So there's some magic in Oregon.
That's amazing.
The Phyllis and Diane mojo. Put some of that on you if you want to see celebs in Hollywood.
Thanks, Phyllis and Diane. Little Phyllis and Diane mojo.
Yeah, and they'd probably get a kick out of me telling this story because they took the tour in March when the whole Hollywood Boulevard was ready to go. And so they were just like, wow. And they talked to a security guard, and during the Oscars, they were like looking for him, you know, on the edges of the red carpet because they knew a guy now in the Oscars, you know. So anyway, that kind of stuff is still knocks people out from out of town.
That's great that you get to do that, Paul. I mean, it's like, or that you've created that, you know, like that you get to enjoy all these movie locations, and it's something you've like uniquely built, and you get stories like Phyllis and Diane, you know, and there's no way, I don't know, some people get very cynical in this town. I'm just like, when I'm like, I get geeked out because I'm like, hey, Mickey Mouse and Chewbacca and the Man's Chinese Theater. I'm like, I'm never going to get cynical. I've been here for 18 years.
This is
shouldn't I be cynical by now? But I don't think that's our style.
Yeah, sorry, folks. Not going to happen. What'd you call it? Because I'm going to repeat that. The hedge and
fences tour.
Hedge and fences tour.
Because the hedge and fences of David Lynch. Yeah.
I'm going to repeat that. I like that because I already say I give you my tour in a car, so everywhere we go, we get out and we take photos, as opposed to the bus and point tour. Right. Yeah, so we have the bus and point, or you can take the bus and point, or the hedge and fence, or come with me and I'll give you a real tour. I like that.
The hedge and fence tour.
Forgive me while I write it down. You share our next clip.
Yeah, I'll share our next clip because of course Nikki Glazer makes a joke at the expense of America's sweetheart. Harrison Ford, and let's blow this up. Oh, hey, look, it's America's favorite Seth Meyers.
Ah, yes. There's no bad. I mean, all the late night guys are just like the coolest guys, aren't they? I mean, Fallon's a little too earnest. Maybe a little too sheep. He's pretending I'm sheepish stuff.
Is my problem with him. A little fake earnest, isn't he?
Right.
You're not that regular a guy.
Right. But I still think a good guy. Well, although I've heard, there was some news recently. But basically, you look at John Oliver, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert. These are all cool guys.
Yeah,
so
affable.
I think the crew of late night gangs is absolutely cool. So
yeah, that's a good call. It's a good gang. Like whereas like if I ran into, I mean back in the day even if I ran into David Letterman or Jay Leno or Johnny Carson. That's not the same as today's, Conan O'Brien's and, pretty regular guy chic. But here's a little Harrison Ford joke that Seth Meyers found funny.
Well, the legendary Harrison Ford is here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually talking to Harrison backstage, and after he gave me his drink order, I asked him, I said, would you rather work with Zendaya or Ariana? And he said Indica. So we're going to find him some so he has a good time tonight. We want you to have fun.
The face. It's too funny.
So good.
And boy, right at the very last episode of the season, did Harrison Ford make a strong case for him to win that Oscar or the Golden Globe? He didn't. It went to a supporting actor from Shogun, which I think we were both just saying. Hiroyuki Sanada won Best Actor in a drama, and then the show won Best Drama, and it's winning at the Emmys, and it's winning everywhere. It's time I watched Shogun.
Absolutely.
Apparently, there's heaping awards on it, and it's never looked bad. It's based on a great novel, and I mean, it's about time Hiroyuki Sanada got some love for being a kick-ass actor in many, many, many great projects.
Yeah, we love Sonata. We've always highlighted Sonata and everything. And man, yeah, I hear, like, especially our friend group, the Schmodown friend group on Twitter and stuff, like so many of them have raged. Or Lon Harris loves Shogun. So, you know, that any of our friends with extremely good taste, we're blessed to have a big group of friends with really good taste. You know, we're raving about it. So, yeah. But
they might have been a year late on his nomination, though, for Ford, because last year, I don't know, maybe it would have been different competition, but they didn't nominate him. I think they nominated him this year. You know, he still made a strong case for himself, but boy, last year he was really good on that show too. It's a challenging role to play. You know, he's got to be the grump that we know him to be, and he's the foil for Jessica Williams and Jason Segel in The Therapist's Office, but then he's dealing with an illness. So you got the drama, but the drama comedy mix is what makes Shrinking so great anyway. They just blend it beautifully.
But, you know, from studying Ford as we have as a science, basically, like all he's wanted all along is the chance to really show his chops and really give a performance. And that's why that, phase 3 was so interesting is him just going a complete opposite direction for every single movie. Mosquito Coast is different from Frantic, as Frantic is different from Presumed Innocent, you know, and I saw the clip, one of the clips related to the nomination. I'm assuming it's from the season. I have not seen this scene in Shrinking, which I'm very behind on, but where he gets up in front of the whole crowd and gives a very moving speech about his friends, and I just could feel through that, like Harrison Ford loved, like really for his entire career, not being able to have a moment quite like this has given him as an actor. It's again, I have to watch the show.
Well, you saw the end of season 2, but
is that, well, but see, it's not, that doesn't really blow anything. It's just I was watching the performance and I don't know quite how it's connected or what leads up to it, but I assumed it was a spoiler of sorts, but just watching the performance, in relation to this nomination.
Well, he's the grump is because he doesn't share, so that's a big moment where he does.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to interrupt with a clip. If I can share my screen, we'll see if I do it at all well. Let's see.
You do it all well, Paul. I think I could speak for the entire chat that you do it all well. Let's see what comments we got here. All
right.
We got fence and hedges while smoking Benson. Well, all right. Narcolepsy's on it.
Hit present, right? Go to share screen, right?
Yes, Paul. Hit present. Hi, everybody. Here's our show. Yes, Paul.
I'm not a cat. All right. Are you seeing the thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully we'll get audio.
It means something to them, so they want a picture.
Yeah.
Or they want.
This is about shrinking.
But the people come to me now. Say, hey, excuse me, I just wanted to tell you, we love that show. We watch it with my family, and we love it. And then they turn around and go away. No picture, nothing. No, because what they're doing is that they're knitting into this empathetic framework. And they're not seeing me as an actor. They're seeing me as somebody that they've had this nature of experience with. And it's a phenomenal change. Yeah. In my mind, in my life. It means something.
Pretty cool. Like him saying that, you know, the experience of shrinking meaning more than some of the other movies he's made. It's great.
Yeah, he's really feeling, and the, you know, that interview from Extra where he's just having more fun than I've ever had, and then for him to get legitimate chances to really perform, and just that, I love that we're in such a new phase of Harrison Ford, and he notes it. Like, we note it because we've been obsessed with Harrison Ford since we were little kids, but like, he's like, no, this is appreciably different in my career than it's ever been. That's awesome. I mean, that's not lost on him. I love.
Yeah, I thought that clip backed up just what you were saying. It's not like it leads with him going, "Hey, take a picture. Hey, thanks, goodbye." But now people want to like say something to him that means something, and he's relishing in it.
Yeah, because I mean, for years he would have that sort of "I'm not Han Solo, I'm not Indiana Jones" attitude, which is what actors did back then. They very much embraced being Iron Man or Spider-Man now, but back then it was like, no, I can't get stuck in that, or my career's over, basically, because in a way it was back then in a strange way, but very cool.
Yeah, I mean, even recently you saw Affleck kind of, well, no, I was going to say he saw him fight away from Daredevil and do his own thing, but then he got locked into Batman, so I forget, bad example.
But now he's running away from Batman as
but now
much
he's running
as
away
he
from
can.
Batman. Yeah, I guess he has to do it a couple times, but
yeah,
he didn't learn the first time. But anyway, onward with the Golden Globe clips. What else?
All right, so it's so funny. I got a text from someone I didn't even realize. I mean, I was like literally just watching Dial of Destiny because I now own Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny.
Oh yes, as do I. If I were a Jedi, I'd pull it from my shelf across the room. But it's a good view.
Merry Christmas from the family. Also, Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos. So
that tracks.
That tracks. But what's great is, much like when we were kids, Paul, and you got Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time on videotape, and you just would play the hell out of it, right? So I'm just like, as soon as it ends, I just start it again. It's the best. It just feels very much like when I was a kid watching Raiders, because I had it on tape. I'm like, oh, I got Dial of Destiny on tape. I have a full Dial of Destiny analysis, which I will prepare at some point, but there's a lot of fun new observations.
Oh yeah, I've seen it 5 times. I'd love to hear what's new, or maybe I'll just watch it again. I'll have my own new observations, and then we'll double up on the.
Well, it wouldn't hurt us actually to do a live commentary for one of these shows where we don't have a lot prepared or whatever, but still want to get together and discuss some latest stuff. But it'd be fun to do a live commentary sometime, and people can cue their own and just watch it.
Do those work to the chat? That you sit there and you press play separately in your own homes, right, and comment here as the movie plays out.
Yeah.
Right? Because so then you avoid copyright nonsense.
Right. We're not playing it here, although I've seen some people do screen caps that show how far into the movie they are in case people come in late or whatever. That's kind of a good idea to prep, 20 of those or whatever. Like, here's where we're at, here's what chapter. But we've never done that before. That would be a real fun thing to do. I mean, I would do that for any of them. I'd do that for, But anyway, we'll get back to that later. But I was watching that and I got a text from someone saying that Nikki Glazer's killing it tonight, and I was like, oh, the Golden Globes! I completely forgot about it because it's still the poor man's Oscars. What can I say? But as soon as I turned it on, they say coming up Harrison Ford, and there is Harrison Ford and Anthony Mackie. And I'll play that clip in a second, but I when I texted you said I was watching the Detroit Lions game, and I just wanted to let you know, Paul, that you were not alone, because I did find this clip short here.
Stories of
there they are, speaking live, and here is Paul and Dax Shepard united in watching the Lions game.
You mentioned that. I wasn't sure what that was. I thought they were in their house. They were in the same room. That's hilarious.
Yeah, same room. But as soon as I had turned my TV on, here comes, how great is this, Paul? First of all, Anthony Mackie, you may or may not remember, is in the first movie I ever produced or was listed as a producer on, which is Heaven's Fall. Yeah. Oh. So The Heavens Fall, the story of the Scottsboro Nine with Timothy Hutton and
For
various
real?
other actors. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Wow.
one of Anthony Mackie's. He'd already done She Hate Me, because I remember looking him up, and they're like, we've cast, because he plays a guy who comes from a newspaper, like a civil rights newspaper in Alabama, I think, and he's a journalist coming and studying the trial. I never got to meet him because I actually left set before that, but yeah, he's in that movie, and I came very close to meeting him. But so I've always been, pulling for Anthony Mackie because even
You
though I
launched
didn't,
his career.
I launched his career, right? And that same company, the movie they made after that was called one of the first lead roles of who's the Star Wars competitor who does all the Star Wars voices now. I'm blanking on his name. You guys in the chat. Witwer.
Sam
So,
Witwer.
but and I really legitimately could say I gave Sam Witwer a start, even though obviously there's a whole movie made. I just raised money for it. But so anyway, so I'm always pulling for Anthony Mackie, and man, it's just really great to see him in a major role like this. And we'll watch the Brave New World, the new teaser that came out, the sneak preview type thing. A lot of new shots in that I didn't realize, but Anthony Mackie's such a superstar, and you'll see it here, and you'll see it. I have the Sebastian Stan clip where he interrupts Sebastian Stan, and Anthony Mackie just deserves to be a huge movie star. And so this sort of like any talk about like, Chris Evans is the real Captain America, blah 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 blah. It's like no. Anthony Mackie is a Chris Evans level star, I think. But here,
I found room for both. Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
oh, really, Paul? You're not on Twitter saying either or? That you're not allowed to have Justice League and Marvel because somehow superhero movies needed a right wing? It's the dumbest thing I've ever witnessed is superhero movies having a right wing, and they're Donald Trump and Zack Snyder. Like, you guys all sound extremely stupid. Do you realize that, apolitically, do you have any idea how stupid you sound?
No, they're sure that Gunn's Superman's going to bomb. And when it does, boy,
and they must root for it because one side must win, Paul, in movies now, suddenly.
You'll all see when you left Snyder and Cavill in the dust, you'll see what happens. It's going to be so huge.
Oh my gosh, so huge. The biggest movie of all time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also, like, how much of a superhero movie fan could you be if you're not cheering James Gunn taking over all of DC, who proved over many movies they don't know how to do this at all? Almost.
Bringing you Guy Gardner and upcoming Clayface. I mean, forget it.
Yeah, Clayface getting his own movie. I mean, come on. Yeah, there's just casually in a trailer for Superman, Hawk Girl. Like I remember when like Superman just fought like gangsters and Richard Pryor and you're like this is like a legit comic book sort of thing, and letting DC be DC. The thing about Marvel was Marvel Studios movies have always been super Marvel. They haven't betrayed anything of that brand, and DC just needs to go full goody goods. Like Superman is a goody good. Like they're just not Marvel in terms of being a little more gritty and that sort of stuff. And so then when all the DC movies are like super gritty, you're like, did you think Frank Miller wrote 25 years of DC comics? That's not really the case. Mostly it's a bit of an arms akimbo compared to Marvel in some ways. Yeah. But here they are, man. This is the greatest. This was so fun to just turn on my TV and this is what's on there.
Mr. Mackie, Mr. Ford.
Chemistry, man. This movie's going to be good.
Animation's come so far from the early days of flip books to modern day 3D, computer generated imagery. The possibilities are endless, boundless.
It's an evolving door. Artists, animation. While the technical innovations have progressed with more emotional themes, with typical stories of good versus evil, of coming of age, are now layered with storylines surrounding complex relationships, social justice, and mental health. Now, here are the nominees for the Best Motion Picture Animated.
Well, all right.
You gonna be like that? That's it. We got chemistry.
Yeah, chemistry, right? Amazing. Yeah, it's real fun. Yeah. And then you want to see Anthony Mackie take over. Well, Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier, wins a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
I'm glad it won because I haven't seen it yet, and I think the movie's gotten lost in the mix. It was a big festival winner. It's called A Different Man.
Oh, you mean the movie I just heard of for the very first time when Sebastian Stan won has gotten buried? I'm going to agree with you on that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think maybe it'll make it back in theaters, but at least the awards run will hopefully get some eyeballs on it, screeners out to people who can see it, and I can't wait to. Yeah, I mean.
Now, and Paul, you've got to keep me informed here around Los Angeles. We're very lucky because, I'm perpetually behind on movies because I do things like, I don't know, see Deadpool and Wolverine 5 times instead of 4 new movies of Deadpool and Wolverine. But that's me. That's my problem. But I've noticed some other movies, Nora is kind of re-released somewhat. And so I haven't seen that. And then The Brutalist has got 3 weeks or 2 weeks at the Vista. It's playing all month. So in 70 millimeter.
His kind of movie, yes. In VistaVision.
Yeah.
Which I saw White Christmas, and it has the big VistaVision logo at the top. And then I saw The Brutalist, same thing. I'm like, oh, what? Old school. Yeah.
Did you see them both at the Vista?
No, I saw White Christmas at a Christmas marketplace downtown, outdoors. Gotcha. And then I just saw The Brutalist at Century City. It was the only place it was playing at the time, so there was no on film to see. I saw it digitally, but
right. I thought I'd missed it at the Vista because it was playing last month, but just the last 2 weeks. And I was like, well, the holidays, I'm not good. And then they released a new calendar and it's all this month, which is excellent. I did see Nosferatu though, but I saw it in Cincinnati.
So it doesn't count.
I mean, it does. It's a theater I used to go to when I was in college. It's where I saw the piano. But but here, check out the effortless style of Mr. Anthony Mackie once again here. This is it's so fun. And I don't know how long I've been
hearing that said.
Hearing it, and then when you're growing up and you're going up at the movies, and stuff, and you're always watching people
Oh man!
You're in trouble now.
There goes the neighborhood.
That's right. It's a team effort.
You're a star, Mackie.
That's right. Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Hey,
we're coming back.
How's it going, man? Yo, congratulations, bro.
Oh God.
What you feeling right now, bro?
This is
I know you got to be
my
ecstatic.
dream and my nightmare all in one.
Yo, well, wake up, baby, because we are in paradise. How you feeling?
Pow, pow, pow.
Look, I brought this for you.
Well, we're celebrating tonight. I feel amazing.
I wasn't yelling at anybody.
Yelling at you when you were walking up. Did you hear that?
No, he was backstage. He was waiting for me, but he.
Okay, it was.
Yeah. No, I'm so happy.
We have to. Hey, come on.
Here we go.
How are we? Sebastian.
See what Kenny does? See how Kenny got
I love Kenny. I've worked with Kenny before. This is my first guy.
By the way, let me tell you something. I do have to thank Anthony because actually back in the day when we were starting these press tours, they said, this kid can't talk, can't smile, can't say anything. We got to put him with Anthony to get some life in him. And maybe I learned from you, actually.
Look at you now,
keep smiling, man.
How do you feel, man? What's going through your mind right now? Your mom's here. You're nominated for 17 Golden Globes. They're literally going to change the Golden Globe trophy to look like you.
You just needed one more movie to be
That's all he
sweet.
need.
You be in everybody.
Well, listen, I feel grateful. I mean, I feel like you and I need to hang out and talk about everything.
Well, we're going to talk tonight, Marco. We're going to talk.
Did you really bring?
I hadn't seen that.
Just
that was fun.
He just got all the style, the gab, and it's so. I mean, it's like Eddie Murphy walking in, man. He just really commands the scene. He's such a superstar. It's very exciting.
Boy, now you got me wondering if we'll see, the Bucky in Brave New World. I wonder.
Right? Yeah. I have no idea. I mean, I can't believe that Well, you said this a long time ago that they signed Sebastian Stan for the Winter Soldier. They signed him to 6 movies at that time. It's probably up to 9 now. They need to renegotiate the contract or whatever. But like, what an obscure character! Like that is going so, and to go, nope, Sebastian Stan, that's our man for the next decade and a half. Like they signed that contract. It's like, who is this guy even? You know?
And I don't know if you've seen episode or season 3 of What If, or as Drax would call it, why if?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. But Bucky shows up in that too, you know? So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots to do with that character.
Well, Bucky's going to be all over Thunderbolts because I'm looking at my next clip here, and I'm seeing there's Thunderbolts has a new trailer as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks like, well, 1 month ago. It might be new to me. But, I saw this Captain America Brave New World special look came out 3 weeks ago, but I hadn't seen it till now. Have you seen this?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more of the duel. A little more of the, maybe just a couple more shots of the Cap Hulk duel.
Yeah. Yeah, they're adding more and more each time to that, which is really cool. Like at the very first, all you saw was the red fist, and then you saw him transform a little bit, and now it's like they've added all those like 5 clips together to show you like the full kind of feel. It's a great look at the first 20 minutes of this movie because Marvel, with the exception of a shot or two in every trailer, shows you nothing outside the first half hour of the movie.
I got a theory about this movie. I don't know. By the way, we kind of moved on to it, so let's just give you if you haven't seen this yet, the new poster. There it is.
Oh,
it's pretty awesome.
Wow. Oh, I want that on my wall.
A full first look at not first look, but like a up close and front and center look at the Giancarlo Esposito as the villain, whose character name is escaping me, but someone in the chat.
Hold on. It is come on, chat. It's named after a snake, not Rattler, not Cottonmouth,
not Copperhead. Is it Garter?
Copperhead.
Is it Garter?
It isn't Garter. Sidewinder. Thank you.
There you go.
God bless you, David McKay. Yeah, Sidewinder, which is incredibly obscure. And now everybody, like Thanos, is going to know the name Sidewinder of a superhero character from Marvel. It's so cool. And I love that they cast him as it. Oh my gosh.
And I don't even know who the two. I don't know who they are. Those two south of Mackie's head there.
But they look like they're wearing superhero stuff, so I'm in.
Yeah, or they're at least Shield or something. I don't know.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, it's just going to be packed with. And that's the other thing is like you watch James Gunn Superman and you're like, thank goodness Marvel gave other studios, Sony and Warner Brothers, permission to use a bunch of obscure characters. Now they haven't been particularly good with it, but I'm just glad that they got that permission. Like the Black Adam, Oh, but hold on a second. Wait. Oh, the new Captain America's got to have a Falcon as well. I love that. That's good.
Do you think Ross survives this movie? I don't know. I think he signed Harrison Ford, and that's your send off. I wonder if he survives becoming a Hulk, or if and Thunderbolts is his legacy. I'm curious. I don't know. I'm just riffing. I mean, I'm sure there's a number of comic storylines that they could pull from, but I'd be curious to know.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I'm curious to see, and it will be see. But the whole point of this show is that it's like a month away. Like we're a month away. We've been talking about Brave New World for a while, and Harrison Ford getting casting it, and now it's next month.
Oh, well, yeah. Valentine's Day. 36 days. I had it written down here. 39 days, something. But yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So the new Falcon. This is so great. You know what's so great about the Marvel movies? You can't ever be spoiled because again, their trailers are the first 30 minutes of the movie. 30 minutes into any Marvel movie, you search through your head and you go, "That's all the clips I've seen," and we have an hour and a half left. I know I say that over and over and over, but look at this. Look at this new special look here. Let's look at a little of it. We can't look at all 2 minutes. We'll get in trouble. But I love the opening here with him flying, and just the style of this is really cool. The little flashback structure of the opening of it, and then it goes absolutely nuts. But yeah.
What
Sam Wilson.
Steve Rogers.
I'll do my best. That's why it's yours. The world is on the brink of war.
Adamantium have turned us against each other.
It's Captain America's job to fix that. It's my job to fix it.
I want you, Captain America, to help me rebuild the Avengers. Work with me, Sam. We'll show the world a better way forward.
Great shouting.
There's possibility of another attack. Your inner circle's been compromised. Let me fix it.
You're not Steve Rogers.
Right. I'm not. What if it's a trap? Somebody is pulling the strings on everything.
It's Sidewinder.
Captain America. You don't even know what this is.
You want me? Come and get me!
Okay, maybe I will play the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a souped up new suit. I dig it with the wings that can now cut through a car.
Oh, yeah, right? What if that's like a adamantium wings or something? I mean, they've introduced adamantium into the universe now. I think that previously that word was owned by 20th Century Fox.
You're right. I'm sitting here going, wait a minute, that's this Cap's shield. No, wait, that's vibranium. So adamantium. Oh, good Lord. Yes. Give it all to Feige. He knows what to do.
Give it all. Amazing. He's so good.
Got this comment earlier from the great Brennan Marr. I know very little about this film, but excited to see it anyway. Well, hopefully we helped enlighten you a little bit. You know, it's Harrison Ford's entrance into the MCU. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I just never imagined. I never imagined they would make really, really good superhero movies to begin with. I mean, I was fine with all the other ones. I think Daredevil's fine. I took you to opening night of Ghost Rider. I'm fine with these movies.
We saw Spirit of Vengeance too.
Did we? Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I made you go see that as well.
That one was City Walk. I remember specifically.
Oh yeah? Okay, gosh,
I
I
don't
forgot
know why I
all about
remember
that.
that. I think it was because what the hell, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And those were the days when it wasn't just like, now you can look and go, I have A-list, it's included. Why not?
Right.
You had to like fork out $12 or whatever.
Yeah,
big deal.
Put real cash money down for it then.
This is a good idea too. Rewatch Falcon and Winter Soldier preparation.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. That's a good series.
Yeah, as I watch him in the suit and everything, I was getting flashbacks. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't, any Marvel movie I've seen multiple times, but the TV shows I've seen each of them only once,
Same, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a good time for a rewatch.
But that's a good one to definitely give a rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, What If is probably the best thing they do on television. The first 2 seasons are great. I've watched the first episode of this 3rd season, and it's great. Like they're killing that whole concept and delivering big time. It's really good. Yeah.
And they're so good too because they don't need to. They've been so good at unfolding the Marvel universe. They've never needed to reboot anything.
Have you seen any of What If?
Oh, the first season. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think I've seen the second season. I was surprised when you said this is the 3rd season because I'd heard about it and I thought it was the 2nd season. I think there's a whole 2nd season I don't know anything about.
Yeah, they deliver all the ideas that you would love to see but wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So they put them in this. Like the first episode of this is about, I can't remember what it's called. It's when all the Avengers come together and make like a Voltron Avenger.
All right.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, like Avenger Go or something. You know,
Oh, that's amazing. I'm
to
totally down for that.
fight a Hulk that now is like so radioactive. He's grown to like Godzilla size. So now it's like basically kaiju and
Oh, it's a kaiju
whatever
match.
fighting. Yeah.
It's a kaiju and Voltron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Voltron
there
is
it
the.
is. Mech Avengers, they call them. Oh wait, Mech Avengers.
What if Mech Avengers fought the? I love that. Well, I gotta watch that. That's amazing. Yeah, yeah. It's such a good time to be a comic book and superhero movie. I mean, the fact
For Marvel.
For Marvel, and well now, and you know, and I love that Warner Brothers is like, we don't know how to make these. Let's grab one of the guys that made the stupidest comic book of all time into one of the biggest successes in Marvel and just give him DC. That is also the Marvel effect. You know, like they're just like, I don't know. We tried. We have no idea what they're drinking over there at Marvel. Let's grab one of their big guys and give them the entire DC universe. And James Gunn, the writer of the specials, is now going to direct a Superman movie. And I also just feel like, you know, James Gunn is so one of us. You know, I mean, he wrote Tromeo and Juliet. Like
I was just gonna say, will that be in the promos? Tromeo and Juliet's James Gunn brings you. Yeah.
But I'm just like, it's just like one of us got to make any movie they wanted for Warner Brothers. You know, it's really cool.
He put the damn dog in it anyway. So like, yeah.
And this year, and put the damn dog. I mean, that is so James Gunn. The dog, Hawk Girl, Guy Gardner, like all the deep, so many deep cuts already in that. And you know, it's just going to have all this heart. I mean, watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like, you know, the guy is capable of so much extra heart beyond what you would ordinarily find in one of these things. In fact, you know, these things used to be pretty cynical exercises. And, you know, when you get to some heart, like when Ghost Rider would suddenly say, I'm really doing this because I'm in love or whatever. And you're like, oh, whatever. Ghost Rider.
I should also make a plug here for another podcast at the Movie Guys called Countdown. My friends Sean Blodgett and Justin Bowler and I do countdown series to a new movie from a franchise. So we did a countdown to Rise of Skywalker. So that was like a 9-episode series. Adam was a guest on a couple of them, where we talk about each Star Wars movie leading up to the release of Rise of Skywalker. We did it for Indiana Jones with Dial of Destiny. We did it for Ghostbusters with Frozen Empire. And we just did a short one for Deadpool with Deadpool and Wolverine. I think Superman's next. The guys want to do that, although I'm like, we're going to be going through a bunch of bad movies, in my opinion. 3, 4.
I'm excited to hear you guys watch those, though.
I guess well, maybe that's the attitude I should have.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I want to see. I just thought Man of Steel was bad. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, Man of Steel's not bad. It's just misguided. It's just everybody but Marvel. They're just off. I don't know. There's something off about all of those, and they're trying so hard. But Man of Steel comes before Marvel kind of gave them permission to go nuts. Like in Black Adam, there's 5 other superheroes, the Justice Society or whatever. They don't know what any of that means, and they're not that interested in putting it there. But they did because Marvel allowed them to go. Oh, let's put them all in bright suits while we're at it.
Let's put Dr. What's his name, Fate in there. Yeah, just because we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was fun. I mean, I'm excited for James Gunn's Dr. Fate, but it was nice to see Dr. Fate. I mean, I have very few problems. Well, no, I have plenty of problems with Black Adam, but in terms of just basic thrills, I'm just like, I never thought I'd see a movie like this. And if you put aside the perfection of something like Deadpool and Wolverine or whatever, you're just like, well, this would be the best superhero movie I'd ever seen if there had never been Marvel. But what Marvel's doing is just on just a whole other level. And without anybody admitting it in the industry, they've all admitted it with their output, as I saw Kraven the Hunter as well before Christmas.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You did that for both of us.
Once again, adapted from the studio notes on the idea of making a Kraven movie. You're like, here it comes again. Here comes the opening intro thing that clearly wasn't in the original script. And then about 10 minutes in, you come to the scene, you go, this is how it was supposed to begin originally. I see. And it happens every one of these. It happens in Morbius. It happens in Aquaman 2. You're like, what the hell was that opening? And then they start with this thing and you go, oh, that'd be a great way to open the movie. Oh, that's how it originally opened. And they got noted to death. Yeah. Nothing but notes.
Well, then of course the outgoing head of Sony is like blamed everything on the press. He's like, these would be great movies, but you know, we put one out there sandbag before they even get released. They might just be bad also.
Yeah. No, they really feel in Venom, they really feel like they were written back when Daredevil was a movie and Fantastic Four, Tim Story's Fantastic Four. It feels like exactly the script that they would have had written, and then they waited until things were successful enough to make their 90s superhero movies that feel just like the old ones. They feel just like Fantastic Four 1. You know, where you're like, I don't know if that's exactly how you tell the story. You're a little nervous about telling the story, and Marvel's never been nervous.
That's
about
it. Yeah, totally. It's how's this? Everybody you like it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
One more.
How's this? Huh?
Please like us. Please like us. This was spotted in a movie theater. Boom. That's pretty cool. So that's like gigantic standee with huge Hulk in it.
Well, that's more than a standee, isn't it? That looks like 3D.
Yeah, it's a big statue. Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's all part of a big thing in the.
That's cool.
Lobby.
Wow. How fun is it to watch Harrison Ford Hulk out? That is just so cool. And how cool a concept is it that the President of the United States has been taking the Hulk drug and is a Hulk? And it's Thunderbolt Ross and it's Harrison Ford. I mean, these concepts are fantastic. They never would have passed muster in the 90s. The studios were like, no, nobody's going to know what to make of that. But Marvel's just like, watch this. Yeah.
But if we ventured outside of Ford a little bit there with the DC movies and all, let's keep going just for a brief tangent. Okay.
Oh, baby.
All right. Adam watched
Speaking of Marvel movies.
Sent me a text and said it's great. And I went, really? Because I watched the trailer and it looks like, you know, cynical and just overly commercialized. Oh, super overproduced and just looks bad. And I'll be damned. Adam's right. Red One is some fun to watch.
It's so
with
fun
a really big heart.
Yeah. Oh, really big heart. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it because we watched it. I put it on. We were wrapping some gifts. This is when I was home in Kentucky. And we were wrapping some gifts and stuff. We did Christmas a couple days later because I was in Cincinnati this year. But and so Mom kind of missed like an hour of it or something because she was kind of running around and going back and getting, you know, gift wrap and stuff like that. And I was like, there's a bunch of scenes you got to see. And so the next night we're just like, let's just start it over. So I'd missed a few scenes too, you know, just chit-chatting and stuff like that. So I basically watched it twice. And yeah, the scene that stuck out both times was when they're weightlifting. And first of all, like the concept of Santa's bodyguard and Santa goes missing is fantastic. Now you start layering onto all that, all the myths of Christmas, all the myths of Santa, and all this sort of stuff, and it really gets extremely well layered. The reindeer are the size of moose, and like nobody's ever done any of these Santa mythologies in general. Like nobody's ever like rethought the deer. Like, well, what if the deer are this? Or what if Santa delivered, you know, all this sort of like things that in the Santa Claus, when you're like, Tim Allen squeezes through this chimney and you're like, well, I guess he'd have to go down the chimney some way. And this one takes the whole sci-fi angle of like, yeah, but what's the most sci-fi way? Like, what if it was extremely magical? But
I saw the Santa Claus for the first time last year when I had COVID. I'm like, let me just finally watch this. Yeah. I thought it was awful anyway, but this is great.
I'm so curious when you do countdown to 4 with the Santa Claus. I'm very curious to watch 3 with Martin Short. That's got to be the worst movie ever made. It looks absolutely awful.
But I'd like to see Martin Short. That's the thing. But
that's the thing too. That's what I was like. Oh, Red One. I could definitely get through a movie with Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, Lucy Liu, and J.K. Simmons, and it happens to be this. Well, I'm in. And yeah, certain things are overdone. But that scene when so Dwayne Johnson's retiring as the head of the ELF. Sorry, I'm a sucker. You could call that a cheesy joke. I love it.
And they let you sit on it, which I appreciated.
Right. Yeah. And so J.K. Simmons is buff as hell. Have you seen any of the photos of what he
got buffed for, which is hilarious, Commissioner Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon.
and he wore like a jacket the whole time, so you didn't even know. But here he's got arms out, gun show, full
Yeah.
on, and yeah,
Which
he's
is a
jacked.
great idea for Santa, a jacked Santa, because again, it's a movie with Dwayne Johnson, jacked Santa, and they're working out together, and they're having the conversation about the head of the ELF retiring. Why is he retiring? And again, completely non-cynical, because this year there's more people on the naughty list, and each year there's a 20% increase on the naughty list, and he has gotten cynical about the holiday season, which is a classic trope of Santa Claus movies, but in this way, it was just felt so original. And their conversation, God bless Jake Kasdan, is so real and serious. And, and it's about what Christmas is about. And it's Santa Claus doesn't want him. And you step outside and you're like, was that a conversation between Santa Claus and Santa Claus's bodyguard
Right.
played by The Rock? I love that,
And every time they talked about the tech of how Christmas works or what makes things run and all that, it's delivered with such genuine honesty and earnestness that it's fun. It's like it's never like we're being super clever. He's just like, did you make sure the reindeer have the blah blah blah? He's talking into his thing, whatever, all that kind of stuff.
The costumes also, I got to shout out the costumes. One of the best Santa suits. I mean, you're seeing it right there. And he has two different Santa suits, and I love the green and red ELF suit too. But like it's like this, some of the best Santa suits, and and best Santa sleigh, best reindeer I've seen. Real good stuff. Yeah, and it's marvelized. It's very hard. We've seen people try and marvel up things. This marveled up the world. It was like, there's all this secret sci-fi things you don't know about Santa Claus, which is a mystical superhero figure, and then they marveled it up and didn't stumble, which I thought was really cool.
And besides what ELF stands for, coming later, much later in the film, after they just say what it is, so is one of the other reasons Johnson's character wants to quit. He's like, I can't see it anymore. He's like, you don't see it? No. And so, but then they let it go. And at the end, when they bring it back to round to what it is he sees, to, what he's trying to see at Christmas time,
yeah,
it's some of Johnson's best acting, underplayed, seriously, and it's a beautiful moment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And Simmons is beautiful in that moment too. You see it, don't you? It's just like,
right.
And these two, their relationship is just no doubt, the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sort of movie, but you know what? Any full-hearted movie, if you're a cynic and you're going in, I mean, I think that all the takes on this were pretty cynical, but without
ironically, the takes were more cynical than the movie. You're right.
Way more cynical, right?
Yeah.
It's a Christmas movie. You kind of got to go in and go, it's a Santa Claus movie. What are you going to be cynical about that? Doesn't make sense. I love it. I think it's a Christmas classic. Then again, I once called Fat Man a new Christmas classic, and I started watching it again this year because I bought it at the time, with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And I must have liked the end of that movie a lot more than the beginning, because I was like, I'm not really getting pulled in by this anymore. But anyway.
Yeah, I never saw it, but
no, yeah.
But I should see what Mel Gibson does because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But anyway, Chris Evans used to play Captain America, and Dwayne Johnson was at the Golden Globes last night, so we've tied it into Harrison Ford. There you go.
There we go. There we go.
But yeah, I can recommend seeing that, and I got there's still some jokes that could happen more than there was some moments where they could have done a joke, or that the action was maybe a little much towards the end.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Nitpicking.
No, I mean,
otherwise a really fun time. And
and
speaking
and it's obvious that the parts where they built it up and what most people would call pretty over busy or whatever, like when Santa gets taken, it's this huge chase and it's a real Marvel style chase. But you know what? Yeah. You got The Rock and you got I don't know. It's a sci-fi movie already. Like, yeah, go for it. Why not?
If they
it takes
lost
3
the
minutes
film's
out of the
heart,
movie.
if they lost the film's heart, that would be bad. But they didn't. They got the movie just instead could claim it has everything now, including big action scene. But speaking of fun times, so I felt the need to write back to Adam with a recommendation, and I saw this. If you haven't seen it yet, we can talk later. But if you have, we can go at length now. Carry on with your boyfriend Jason Bateman.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, is there? I really, when you texted me that, I'm like, every time I watch the trailer for it, this was on Netflix when we turned it on. Each time is a big face shot of Jason Bateman, clearly Taron Egerton. is the star in this poster, but I didn't even know he was in it.
Yeah,
Or
he's
Robert
the
Patrick.
he's the TSA guy who Bateman is, forcing to do his bidding, allowing something to get through and onto a plane. And Bateman's shadowy, like he is in the poster here, the entire movie, but he talks a lot. It's kind of like Kiefer Sutherland's character in Phone Booth, talking to Colin Farrell. So he's here and there, and he becomes a bigger character as the movie goes on. But he's a lot of hearing him, and he's a villain, but he's so Bateman that it's a must see for everyone who remotely likes him. Because he'll threaten you with like, "Come on, buddy, you gotta help me out with that bag," or "Boy, there's gonna be some hurt coming down on your girl," like,
yeah.
Instead of going, "You put that thing in the dirt," it's all Bateman delivered. He doesn't lose a bit of his thing. Like I said, the same thing about Goldblum and Wicked. You get all the great Goldblum you want, and he still is grounded enough to have the moments be real and the interaction with the characters be plausible as the fairy tale can be. But he's not just doing his thing and then we get back to the movie. Bateman is doing the thing you love about him in the service of the big plot. It's great. I
adore his acting so much because he clearly has the exact same sense of humor as me. Like what he does that he finds funny in his performance is like, that is exactly how you elicit a laugh from me. Like, because there's 100 ways to deliver that line, and there's only one Jason Bateman way to deliver that line, and it just always makes me smile, makes me very happy. Yeah. So I was very excited to see that as well.
Yeah, so go check that out. That's definitely worth it for him.
Will.
And it's clever. Then the action never really leaves the airport, so they've got a lot of different things.
Well, it's a Netflix movie. How many locations do you expect it to have?
Yeah, there's a lot of. It's LAX too, so I can add that to the movie tour.
LAX from Dead Heat on a Merry-Go-Round.
LAX from Airplane. Yeah, that's the one. You remember from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Point Blank. Anyway.
By the way, I had a flashback to Dead Heat on a Merry-Go-Round because, of course, every time I exit the airport and I see the grand thing, the thing?
Yeah, whatever it is.
It's not a restaurant. It's not a tower. It's a thing. We're not using it. It's just there. It's an absolute icon. But nobody uses it for anything. You know how like the Empire State Building is completely empty? Well, that's like that, but anyway, but below that is around the wall around it is this classic sort of mid-century modern sort of ovals in cement, this sort of design. And I remember that being featured heavily in Dead Heat on a Merry-Go-Round. Like when they're wandering around, they're always around those walls, but you're never going to get a tour where somebody's like, "Show me the Dead Heat on the Merry-Go-Round."
No, but we have tied it into Harrison Ford again.
We have.
While we're tying things directly in Harrison Ford, this was one of my Christmas gifts, so I'm going to keep my fiance. It's a candle found on Etsy.
What does it smell like, Paul?
Well, there it says "smells like life."
Hey, Harrison Ford is life.
What'd you think it was? Persimmon? Would that be the thing?
No, I couldn't imagine.
I also bought a La La Land candle. There's a great website out there that sells candles themed to movies. I sent one to my friend Mary that smells like Saltburn, which claims to have the ingredients, of like bath water and other stuff. The La La Land one has a number of ingredients, including a wooden jazz piano stool. That kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, because cedar or whatever. Yeah. It's probably a wood scent, but they're like, okay, what's a way to tie that into a movie?
All this says at the bottom is it's soy wax, vegan, but non-toxic.
Just like Harrison Ford.
Smells exactly. Yeah, it smelled lovely. I smelled it. I haven't lit it up yet, but when I do, I'll feel more like a man.
Well, you gotta
thank you, Susan.
You gotta love a Harrison Ford themed gift for Christmas.
Yeah, she's paying attention. I got the socks, if you remember, on a previous year with his face on them. So she's doing all right. You got anything else? I got a ton of crap.
It was a very Harrison Ford themed Christmas. And also...
Yeah. Oh, yes. Speaking of which. I was just going to share. Adam got me this. I'll bust it open and go through it at some point.
Yeah.
Not just this, but also the sequel.
Nice.
where they spoof not just in Temple of Doom, but Splash.
I know, right? How fun is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to set up a time to go through the Mad Magazine parodies and have you do the voices and everything. So yeah.
I remember when I was a kid. Yeah, the two I remember specifically was the Incredible Bulk.
Yeah.
And Abominable House. I'm doing a Sal. Abominable. Or I'm doing a Steve Martin.
Abominable
House.
Abominable. But
Abdominal?
yeah, there's a whole rabbit hole to go down because I wanted to find the there's the zoom in. Hi, I'm in Banana Jones. Half the time I'm a mild-mannered professor teaching archaeology in a small college. The other half of the time I wear a leather jacket, pack a revolver and a bullwhip, and kill people. I'm very respected, and I'm also very confused. Yeah, we'll have to do a read through sometime of this.
A dramatic Mad Magazine's Raiders of the Lost Ark parody. A dramatic reading by the movie guys.
Hey, that sounds like a special advertised special.
So yes, thank you for that, Adam. Also paying attention, much like my fiance. I don't know who to marry.
Hey, I'm taken.
I have to tell you a quick. Oh, also, wait, you're the man for this, though. Okay, remember I brought this up, and someone said, "Hey, it's the same console in Star Wars and Superman," and you were like, "Bullshit."
Yeah, that doesn't. I didn't recognize that console behind him.
Here's another one.
Is that really from Superman the movie? Is that the console behind it?
You were calling bullshit on it.
Well, yeah, because it's got a projector behind it with the red, green, and blue, and there's a video screen behind him where he just killed the guy. That's not the console from Superman.
That's not even the shot. Yeah, okay.
No, someone has dropped him into that. And
well, how about this one? I'm going to try and present screen again.
Present screen, presenting.
Did you know Obi-Wan's chest was also used by Lex Luthor?
Oh, this I believe.
You do?
I believe this. They look the same.
Yeah, same one that held lightsaber holds kryptonite.
Oh wow! Okay, wow. And let's see the side hatching on
Tough
there.
to tell. They blow by it real fast. But I was wondering if you'd have a hard opinion on that.
No,
Just
I
hope,
absolutely believe that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I absolutely believe that. Yeah.
But they've been filmed in the same studios?
They would have, right? Well, one was. Wait, it says Pinewood? No, that's Elstree was where Star Wars. But it's all in Great Britain. I mean, the props people would put all their stuff back in a storage, and they would go, "Hey, I need a prop for this." Like it's just because one's at Pinewood, one's at Elstree. Although the person that posted that said they were both shot at Pinewood. That's incorrect. But
David
but I
Cage
believe that.
coming in with yes. Oh, and also that we're going to have Schwarzenegger as a Santa. I've seen the set photos of that. For this Christmas. So next year we'll have that another jacked Santa. Should be fun.
Santa.
Jacked Santa.
There's a song.
That should be a song. Other non-Ford. Wait, here's
all
another.
the rhymes are about GBH and performance enhancing drugs. I mean, you have to have I think you got something with that song, Jacked Santa.
I went down a Harrison Ford biking wormhole the other day. I brought this up in my tour. We were in Santa
Monica.
Monica.
A Harrison Ford wormhole. Go for it.
But people were asking to see celebrities on the bus tour I was on when we were in Santa Monica. I'm like, well, keep your eyes open for Harrison Ford because on my show we're always talking about how he's going to a bike shop in Santa Monica. And I found out the type of bike he has. It's called a Canalgo, and it's $4,000.
Whoa.
There he is. I don't know if this is the Canalgo, but there's a shot of him just out and about on a bike, right?
Nice.
And here he is in a movie on a bike. And then so you keep going down. That's Hollywood Homicide.
Adore that.
And then you keep going on down the wormhole, and it gets stupider. Like here he is in the Tour de France. Oh, did he do that AI?
Oh,
that's terrible. That's
oh
not
my
even.
gosh.
Look how terrible that is.
Oh my God. AI is so weird, isn't it?
It's the weirdest.
And then people that want to believe what they want to believe, it's the best for them because you could show Donald Trump holding. It looks like that somebody posted like there was a flood or whatever, and it has him holding two children. Like in Twilight Zone the movie, like carrying these two children, and you're just like, the people that want to believe that is fantastic for them.
Yeah. I want to run through some RIPs real quick. The designer of this poster, Greg
Hildebrand
is passed away.
Wow, what an iconic poster, man.
Oh, totally, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. So he passed away. And of course, we never got to talk about this around the holidays, but Terry Garr passed away, of course, from The Conversation, which also features Harrison Ford. So there's a tie-in with her, even with everybody. Everybody has a tie-in.
Well, and tie-in with Spielberg, Close Encounters, and that's Spielberg. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but director of Raiders of the Lost Ark. So
see, yeah, you've tied it back into Harrison Ford.
I tied that one back in Harrison Ford. But and Coppola, she's in One from the Heart, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Obviously, The Conversation. Never mind.
It is for the Coppola query or whatever we're doing.
the Coppola Corral.
The Copacabana.
The Coppola Cabana. Oh, we got our next concept.
Coppola Cabana. And then Chris Christopherson died. I've honored him with my name choice today. I would not name your kid Chris, but somehow he overcame that as Christopher Christopherson, and managed to have quite a career.
Yeah.
How is this tie into Han Solo? On the Donnie and Marie show.
Can you help us escape?
If I can't, I know someone who can.
The second person to ever play Han Solo. Isn't that great trivia?
Heat is getting stronger. Music getting longer too. Music is a flash in me. I wanna take you higher. Let me take you higher. Push a few buttons, light the fire.
The 70s, ladies and gentlemen. Kids today have no concept of the 70s, where just anything went.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
And also, it's so hard to remember that Star Wars came out in the 70s, that Star Wars came out the same year as Saturday Night Fever or thereabouts, because it's so undated. But you see all the media appearances at the time, and you're just like, oh, that is when Star Wars came out. And obviously the Star Wars holiday special is you see what Star Wars would have become if it were not for the stalwart guidance of George Lucas.
Yeah, because it's not easy. And that brings me to another quick Harrison Ford side note related thingy. Here, George Lucas was quoted as saying he called John M. Chu from the mall right after seeing Wicked and said, gave him his congratulations.
What?
Chu said he was still at the mall where he'd seen the movie. He couldn't have been more kind. I see all the elements in that movie, he said. I know how hard it is to put it all together.
Wow.
And Chu said, I know it's so nice when you see leaders like that, creative leaders who actually reach out. I didn't know that happened, and they're just so kind and say we're doing this together. So pretty damn cool of Lucas, who's got nothing to prove to anybody, to just reach out to somebody and tell them well done. Because it's wicked awesome.
You have told me this, and I'm excited to go see that, because I wasn't until you told me that necessarily. I mean, I still have never seen the stage show, so this will be my first foray into it. And I forgot that John Chu directed it until I saw the wins on the awards last night. I was like, oh gosh, okay, now I really do have to check this out. And that's a really cool piece of information to get me out to see Wicked as well.
Yeah, Lucas dug it. You might. Oh, yeah. I forgot another RIP.
Sorry, I had to go see Craven first. It's my duty.
Forgot another RIP. Gold Leader.
Craven the Hunter, for those of you who don't.
Gold Leader passed away recently. Angus McInnes.
Angus McInnes, Gold Leader.
Yeah.
Wow. And also Angus McInnes from Forrest and from Neferon.
Yeah, they listed a bunch of stuff here. Superman 2. Eyes Wide Shut, Judge Dredd, Atlantic City, Hellboy, The Black Dahlia, Captain Phillips. So that's even in the last decade he's been doing stuff. Oh, wow. And he's only like late 70s, I think, 77 or something.
Superman 2. I'm trying to think of who he plays in Superman 2.
Superman, I'm assuming.
No, I think Christopher Reeve had.
Dave McKay, John M. Chu of Now You See Me Too fame, kind of, but really more. I think people who go to see Wicked know him from G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Right, of course. Well, that's where he got all of my respect. I never saw the movies before that got him to do the difference in how much better G.I. Joe Retaliation is than G.I. Joe is
Rise of
notable.
Cobra,
yeah, is notable.
Yeah, and I thought it was the addition of The Rock, but it's probably The Rock because he was improving franchises around then. Fast 5 also proved that,
Right, he would pop in and whip some legitimacy on a movie or Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah, but I think the Jumanji, but I think it's Chu also because Chu went on to make In the Heights, which is excellent, and Crazy Rich Asians, which is great.
Right, that's him too.
So
I'm way
really
behind
good.
on that. And his first movie was not A Better Tomorrow, but Tomorrow Never Forever.
That's John Woo. Tomorrow's Never Forever?
I don't know. There's some movie that had a very similar title to one of those John Woo movies. A Better Tomorrow.
Today's Not Tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow Never Forever. Steve Lewis, movie guy, and I used to just sit around and make up James Bond titles that weren't James Bond titles.
And not be wrong, probably.
This is starting to feel like that. Hold That Thought and Kill Me Tomorrow was my favorite of his, by the way.
Hold That Thought. That's funny. Adam, your thoughts real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. The guy who made
Never Die Today Forever.
The guy who
Forever Never Die.
Reports are saying that the guy who made Dark Phoenix and X-Men: The Last Stand is now being charged with making Star Wars movies. Simon Kinberg, your thoughts?
Oh, was he the director of Dark Phoenix?
Yes.
Okay. And wait, what was the other ones you just said?
Last Stand, which he produced, but Ratner directed.
Oh, right. So he is coming on to Marvel now to make movies with Marvel?
Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars. Oh, geez. Sorry. I missed the entire lead on that.
Everybody's doing. Just assume it's Star Wars. Everyone gets 4 or 5 Star Wars movies commissioned to them by Lucasfilm.
Everyone gets to say they have a Star Wars series in development. It's one of those awards. You're around Hollywood long enough, you get to say, "Oh, I'm making a trilogy for Lucasfilm," and then nothing comes of it, which people complain about. But do keep in mind, we are entering maybe 5 or 6 years, 6 or 7 of knowing pre-production that was never known before. They would never announce that they were going to make something back in the day. That's purely internet. So yeah, of course, some things that start in development don't get made. If you've read the history of movies, you would realize this is actually quite common. So do I want the Simon Kinberg a Star Wars? Give him a shot. I guess. I don't know why I wouldn't. I mean, I like Dark Phoenix. I thought that was. I mean, that went full X-Men. That was an X-Men movie that was informed by Marvel as well. Like, oh, we can go nuts if we want, and was he on Star Wars Rebels? Well, then I'm
aware of that.
I
never saw it, but I know it has cred, right?
It's big time
Star Wars Rebels.
Big time cred. Yeah. Yes.
What's funny is the next movie we're going to get, and we're, you always talk about how spoiled we were. Or now how spoiled people are today, I should say, because after Jedi, you waited 16 years to get Phantom Menace.
And that whole 16 years, they were never going to make another Star Wars movie ever.
And then after Revenge of the Sith, you had 10 more years till we got Force Awakens. And now at least every 2 years, we've got a new movie. Except now it's been 6 years since Rise of Skywalker. So we're in the biggest drought for a Star Wars movie in a while. But now the next one coming out won't be from the Game of Thrones guys. It won't be from Patty Jenkins. It won't be from Taika Waititi. It won't be from Simon Kinberg.
Right.
It won't be from Rian Johnson. And the myriad of people they've said are putting out a Star Wars movie. We're getting The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is probably a better idea than all that other stuff.
I love that. That's and if that were announced and there had never been a Mandalorian TV show, people would be like, "What the hell?" Right? They would just be, what the stupidest idea I've ever. A little Yoda. I mean, can you imagine if they announced with no Mandalorian TV show and they just announced they're doing a Boba Fett movie, but he's not called Boba Fett, and he's got a little baby Yoda with him, and that poster was out there. The internet would have went nuts at how stupid that we've had 6 years since a Star Wars movie, and this is what you make. But everybody's excited now because we've it's basically been tested on TV, and now it gets to have a big cinematic treatment, which I hope adheres to the sort of Lucasfilm Star Wars formula. Would be real fun to see, like a real drop in media res. I want to see opening title car. I want to see a opening crawl, please. I don't know why they stopped doing that.
Gareth.
And stop putting the names of the planets over the planets. Good Lord, could you think of anything that's less Star Wars than putting the name of the planet over the planet? No, you're supposed to be just dropped into their world and be like, oh, what's this? It's on a desert? No. Oh, I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's all interesting.
Someone will say what planet you're on. Right?
Yeah, eventually, and that's all they do. Oh, well, if you're in Tatooine, sir. Here, sir, Tatooine. Oh, now I know what that is. Yeah, that's how it's always worked.
We have given a lot of content to this particular 90 minutes.
We're good.
We've done a fine job.
Well, thanks for hanging in with us, folks. That was a lot of Harrison Ford news, Paul.
Yeah. While you're waiting for us to come back, hopefully in 2 weeks. Next week, I booked a couple of tours, so we can't do unless we're inspired and do a Tuesday or something. But we'll see.
Now, give me time to write the scripts for. We should come back with the scripts for 6 Days, 7 Nights, and
Air Force One for
Force
sure.
One.
That's next. And
Air Force One.
Well, that's started. We'll get it going and fire it up. In the meantime, enjoy the countdown to 3 Deadpool that I mentioned previously.
I have to catch up on those.
And enjoy the Ford Fiesta Presumed Innocent finished episode. Enjoy us this Wednesday on the What the Show Year in Review.
Oh,
Something we enjoy doing with these dummies, Mike Deacon and AJ and Bethany and the Juice. We go on there and we cover the year that was, and in this case, a week old.
It's what do we like more than Harrison Ford, Paul? Bits. Solid bits. This is a solid bit. The 2025 year in review on the 8th day of the year. And then we'll just get all the news that's occurred. The Golden Globes this time can be news. And then, just report the year that was 2025 on day 8. It's the best bit. Great bit.
So look for that. We'll post it on the Movie Guys on Thursday, probably. But if you want to see it live, join in, chat with the group. That'll be 7 p.m. Wednesday night, PST, Pacific Standard. The Good, the Bad, and the Grogu. Yeah, there you go. It is essentially these these are westerns. Yeah.
Talk about a dream come true. I mean, so many things that I would sit in my bedroom and just imagine if they had made a really good, like, live action this or that or whatever. Like the idea of the Boba Fett movie, which is how The Mandalorian started before they did Book of Boba Fett, which I didn't see that coming. But Mandalorian starts and I'm like, oh, this must have been what they were developing as Boba Fett. And they just change it to The Mandalorian. All I ever wanted to see was a Sergio Leone Boba Fett movie to really do. And you watch that opening season of Mandalorian, and I could watch him walk down dusty Tatooine streets like he's in a Leone movie. They just really nailed that.
Well, coming into bars with a door opening and a silhouette, it's totally Leone. And then they even take a detour and give us some Kurosawa for an episode or two.
The baby bassinet, the fucking baby cart to Hades. That's a classic. That's not even. That's a Lone Wolf and Cub. That's even another reference
Shogun
to
Assassin,
manga and stuff. Shogun Assassin. Yeah, they got all those references in there. It's real cool. Love it.
I'm excited for it to be cinematic. So bring on the movie whenever.
Right.
I don't know if they got a date on it, but I'm looking forward to it. And Simon Kinberg, whatever. If it happens, you've made news.
Hey, he hired Brian Darcy James. He hired Brian Darcy James for Dark Phoenix. So near and dear to my heart. Yeah.
Yes, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, as far as he knows.
Yeah, as far as he knows. Yeah. He wouldn't deny it. He hasn't been on the show, but he's just busy. But he wouldn't deny it.
Spotlights Brian Darcy James.
Hey, that reminds me, because we have been talking off and on about the upcoming slate of the Ford Fiesta, because we're in phase 6 now, I believe, which is that it would be really fun to have because we have a bunch of movies coming up that nobody's really signed up for. Like, we have a lot that people have signed up for, which is real fun. And I just kind of want, mentioning Brian, his sister, Kate James, who's in my comedy troupe, and is still a very funny person, very good friend of mine. And it would be fun to spring a few of these oddball movies on members of Schadenfreude.
Sure.
Just to make, to make Kate or, Sandy or Justin or Mark Hanner watch, Firewall or something like that. Might be real fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've told you, crossing over Paranoia.
All right.
No one signed up for Ender's Game. Other than that, folks, you've got a great list coming forward of special guests to join us on the show. We've got
read off that list. It's so fun when you sent that to me because I'd forgotten a few of these.
Yeah, well, David Del Rio was a no-show, but other than that, we got we've had Sabrina Ramirez and Ben Goddard, I think, and Video Drew on the live stream. But to get the return of John Kaiser, you got PLD, Marisol McKee, Janine the Machine, Kevin Smets, Brandon Hanna, Robert Parker, PJ Campbell, Peggy Gubbins, Craig Gagne, right? Is it Gagne? This is a crazy name. Craig the Barbarian. That's his name. Christian Harloff, Coy Jandrew, Lacey Gillerin,
Christian's doing
John
52.
Hoey. Yeah, Eric Zipper, the Damons, Alex,
The
and
Damons.
And
the Damons are up for Rise of Skywalker, right?
That's
or are they
correct.
doing Force Awakens? Yeah, Hoey's doing.
So they'll probably be on the show in 3.
Way fun.
The way we're going.
Yeah. Well. we'll hit a tear at some point here, but.
Yeah. But all right, that's enough show. See you in a bit.
1, 2, 3.
If I can't, I know someone who can. Heat is getting stronger. Music getting longer too. Music is a flashing me. Pretty weird. I wanna take you higher.
You're gonna stop acting like that?
Take it higher. Push a few buttons.
Pardon me? What'd you say?
Gonna take it higher.